It sounds like Mustaine.
Yeah, you fucking dick. Hey, go get it. You want me to get it?
Nah, I'm
I don't
good.
need it.
I'm good, Jim. I'm good.
I put it away so I'm not fucking with it.
So how long are you in town?
I don't know, a couple more hours. That's what it seems like. Like the last time I come in for an hour, like 22 hours.
I mean, fuck your family. You know you're going to come when you're in town, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, kind of obligated by contractually obligated.
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
But yeah, I'm here till Sunday morning. It took a while. I'm not used to spending this much time at home. It's one of those things.
Well, the whole pandemic.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the pandemic thing was there, and I was home. Man, when I left in October, well, actually, started those movies in February. I was never home because I'm always working, and then I went straight to TSO.
Right. That's right. I forgot.
And
I
haven't been back for 8 months.
Damn.
Well, I mean, I come in for an hour, and the airport's right there.
Yeah, right around the road. Don't
Right
tell
down
them
the
where our
road.
location
And this is where I have to come.
It's our secret location.
There's
nothing secret about it.
Well, it is. It's like I was thinking that today. It's like the roads I took today to get here. It might as well be a secret location.
Well, so there's a new, for those who are listening, they're not in Pittsburgh or the Pittsburgh region. There is a new turnpike artery.
Yeah.
Right from 79 South-ish.
Right at my house.
Yeah,
it's a mile
straight
from my house.
Straight to the airport, which in theory would be fantastic for Fred.
It is. It's taken like a 40-minute trip, and I can get to the airport in 15 minutes, which is great because I'm always late anyway. But, and you'd think that it was a shortcut to this place, and I took it today.
It should be.
It is. I imagine it probably is,
be.
except for the way it was put in. I put in, I think it was the shortest route rather than the shortest time. And yeah, I was on some cow pass, man. And I'm like, how the hell is this shorter? It's like when it comes down to it was like a quarter mile shorter, but it took 25 minutes longer to get here, and it really cut into my McDonald's time, and so I was really upset. But yeah, man, and it's amazing to see, like, because I've lived here 53 years. I've never taken these roads before. I have had no reason to take these roads, and it takes me off on a side road. It's like Potato Patch Road or something like that.
Potato Garden.
Potato Garden. I'm like, what the hell's this? And I'm like, and it's me. I don't drive slow, because I'm always late.
Potato Garden Road.
So, and I'm like,
you were out there.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm not in Kansas anymore. I mean, this was, and I'm like, I could be on the main road. Right, I don't see how this is a quarter mile shorter, because I mean the roads go like this, they're like back and forth and stuff like that.
That road's pretty rough, and
Yeah.
I think part of it's closed now.
But here's the thing: there was like somebody sitting on a porch playing a banjo, and I'm not joking when I say that, man. I looked over and I'm like, "Is that a banjo?" And it was just like he's sitting on the porch. And I'm like, "Holy hell, man!" I was out there, but then you go a quarter mile down the road, and it's these condos and fountains in a pond, and it's just like, wait, what the hell was that? And then you could drive a little more, and there's like a cow field.
The townhouse community.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's in the middle of nothing.
Imperial, I think, right?
I have no idea where I was at. My service on my phone stopped working.
Now, is it Google Maps or Apple Maps?
For me, it's Google Maps.
All right, me too.
Wait,
it's generally more accurate.
Yeah.
Generally.
And the thing is yeah, I get it. It's a quarter mile, and I just want to get there fast,
right?
Because I don't care if it's
what
a quarter
mile. What did we do before GPS?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did we survive?
Remember you had to print out MapQuest, and you had to take it with you, and you'd
How about before MapQuest, when you would go on a trip, you would get a triptych from AAA. It was like this leaf bound like booklet that you would get, and you'd flip like every 30 miles was a page, and you'd flip it, and I don't know. We're old.
And that's amazing, though, if you think about it, because, like, literally, when we were young, we didn't have the internet. We didn't even have computer. Like, if you had a computer,
you were big shit.
Oh yeah, man. The Radio Shack TSR 100 or 75.
Tandy.
Tandy was
their brand. The Tandy.
Yeah, man. And so, like, we're old. Bottom line is,
well, I'm definitely old. Every morning I look into the mirror and I reflect on my pains, my aches. I realize that I'm old.
I move and I like this whole side of my body. It has a brace on it. It's just this side. I get the elbow's gone now, the knee's gone, the hip. And it's just like I get up and I'm like, God, be kidding me, man! I got to do this again. I got to get up again today.
So I work out at night. Like I take my walks at night, so late, and then I come home, shower, and I go to bed. So how can I feel so awesome when I come back from like 5 miles, right? And then I get a shower and I go to sleep and I'm feeling amazing. When I wake up 7 hours later, I feel like I've been buried under quicksand for like 20 days.
That's why I don't work out anymore. That's why I don't
move.
I don't exercise. I don't do anything. I'm just like, you know what?
You're pretty active though. You're pretty active.
I used to do all that stuff.
You used to do all that. Now I just lift half stacks over my head.
And peg 810s.
Oh, that's right. Bass. So anyways, for those who don't know, you are Nikki Sixx's new bass tech.
I am.
You are.
My
and you're
dream
getting
gig.
ready to go out on the road with this massive stadium tour.
Yep. And it's going to be fun.
And I think it's going to be fun. So you've been down in that camp. We're doing rehearsals and
Doing
things
rehearsals.
and all that stuff.
We've been traveling around doing rehearsals in a couple different places. It's awesome. It's everything my dream job should be. I'm actually happy, folks. I'm usually miserable.
There's a novel idea.
Man. You don't see me smile too much, talking about oh, man, TSO again.
Yeah, you seem pretty happy.
Yeah. It's I got into this a different mindset, I guess. I guess it started on TSO, and then it just it kept going. This is what I do, and I got to the point where I hated it, and somewhere on TSO, somebody said some things that were like, "Hey, man, well, this is what you do," and it's just like, wait a second, that is what I do, and I used to have fun doing it, and it just wasn't fun anymore.
So after the layoff, basically with COVID, then you go back to TSO, and then you start questioning.
Yeah, well, that was it. I didn't even want to do TSO this last time, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, because I didn't know if I wanted to go back and
miss another Christmas.
Yeah, miss another Christmas, miss everybody. It's ruined my life. This job's ruined my life. And I thought, wait a second,
How honest is that?
I mean, it's the truth. You can't have a family. You can't have a relationship. You can't go anywhere.
There's sacrifices.
It's more sacrifices than anything. And, at one point, I was out there having, a good time. And then it became, I missed this. I missed that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I don't have time for this. I can't see this. I missed this wedding. I missed this funeral. I missed this birthday. I missed a lot of birthdays. And I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore. So I kind of was happy COVID came and it got me away from it a little bit. Well, after making movies for 9 months, you make movies for 9 months and you're like, man, I really want to go on the road. And I did. But I was questioning, did I want to go back? Do I want to do this? And
But do you know how to do anything else?
Not really, yeah. But I went and my eyes were opened up to different things, different views, and I had a good time, and then I went out and I had a miserable time on my next tour. And then I went out and had a great time with Alice Cooper and Buck Cherry. And I was working for Buck Cherry, and those guys were great. And then I went and did Journey.
You became a confetti tech.
I became a confetti tech. I did BTS, and then I did Journey. And then out of the blue, I get hit with this Motley Crue thing. And I didn't even apply for it. I didn't even know. And I always say, this is no joke, I always say, there's a reason things happen. Mm-hmm. And
always.
I lost wow.
Send them to Nashville for 2 weeks. Look what happens.
I lost. I didn't lose out, but I was asked if I was interested in other gigs, and they were high profile gigs, and I'm him and Hans still a little bit, and I wouldn't turn my resume in, or it was like filled 15 minutes before I sent my resume, stuff like that. And each one I'd be like, man, there's a reason. There's a reason.
Right.
And I actually believe that, If I'm delayed 15 minutes in traffic, there's a reason. And when I got the call for this, I'm like, well, that's the reason. Mm-hmm. Because I don't give up a job once I take it. I'm not a gig jumper,
Right.
And it fell into my lap really nice. So I'm going to have a nice summer.
So obviously, disclosure or having everybody be very careful in camp and keep everything in-house to protect the awesomeness of the show and all the things that are going on. There's probably very little you can share about the ins and outs of what's happening in preparation for the show. But just talk about your general mood and anything you can share that's not going to get you in trouble.
I can't say anything.
I know.
But I don't want to surprise you. It's going to be
anything.
A great show. I've been to both rehearsals, and it's going to be great. It's huge,
mm-hmm.
and the Def Leppard set is totally different than the Motley Crue stuff. So it's like you're seeing like different shows,
like
two different concerts.
Shows,
yeah,
right.
so it's going to be nice. It's a nice big stadium setting, but I think that people will have a good, they can see the stage, they'll be able to see everything. But
talk about Nikki, man, because you're meeting your hero.
Oh, he's my hero, man. He was a great guy, and I went in there and I felt welcome. Some people you meet and you're like, some rock stars, you're like, oh man, dude was a douche. I wish I never met him. That's
happened to me.
This cat, he's great. So, and I can see that we're going to have a great time. And he's, I'm happy I met my hero. It's say silly stuff like that, But man,
it's got to be rewarding after all these years you've been doing this.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
it's kind of like the apex for you.
Well, it is. This is my retirement gig. It actually is my retirement gig because you can't get any better than this. Yeah, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out on top. And the joke was, I'll quit when I get a platinum album. Well, supposedly we got platinum albums, but management gave them away to people in the office 1 year. So there goes my platinum album. I'm not worried about a platinum album anymore. My other thing was, if I ever worked for Motley Crue, that's my dream.
I know. I've heard you say that multiple times in the last 10, 15, 20 years now.
And when they retired, when and it was just like,
I remember.
Right. So so the dream's gone. You know what I mean? The gig's gone. It was a good run. And then to get called, and I'm like, well, I am getting a little bit older, and time to settle down after this one. But you can't get any. For me, I can't get any better than this.
Yeah, it's the apex for sure.
And it's everybody in that camp is great, good people. It's going to be a fun summer, and there's going to be a lot of good music. I mean, you got Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue. Mm-hmm. They flip flop.
Are they going to put on extra local bands too? Do you have any idea?
I think there's one.
Depending on the city, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I think there's one extra band that's like a baby band just starting out. But
now, is there a second stage? Is it one big stage there?
Yeah, I don't know.
All 4 acts on one stage?
Yeah, it's all 4 acts on one stage. Like over in Europe, you have 2 stages or side by side or whatever. No, this is just one stage. Okay. But I don't know if there's people going to be playing outside the arena, or that's probably like a venue to venue thing or a local promoter thing. The pre-party hype.
Yeah.
The tailgating. Because there's nothing like getting out there, getting drunk, and standing in the sun for from 4:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night.
Show the next day.
Yeah, right. But I always laughed about that. You see these people stoned out of their mind, or they're so damn drunk that they pass. Woo, Skinner, whatever, And
country fans are worse.
They don't remember the show.
That's what I'm saying. country fans are way worse when it comes to getting
liquored
and beard.
The parking lots are trash.
Right.
But the thing is, you pay all this money, and you never see the show.
It's always been my
or you
argument.
don't remember the show. And you can go out there, man. You can see them. They're passed out in their car in the tailgate of a truck. They never even went into the show. So let's say you're paying a couple $100 for a show, and you're going to pass out before that.
Oh, it happens so many times.
I can honestly say I've never done that. I've been so tired I fell asleep at shows.
Yeah.
But that's just because I've been tired. But I've never gotten to.
When I was younger, I'd go to shows, and the anticipation of it and the hype was so like overwhelming that like halfway through the show, I'm getting like bludgeoned by these guitars, and I know I'm here. It's awesome, and I was like, oh, is it almost over? I would get this thing in me like, I don't know if I can take it anymore.
You know what? That's happened to me, man.
And then you're saying, how could I feel this way?
Yep. No. It's happened to me. I was like, man, I can't get out of here fast enough. It was Rush. And
oh, that's horrible.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I went as here. It's your birthday, man. Let me get you Rush tickets. Oh my God, just. I think I was like the only one sitting there going, Jesus, is this over yet?
That's so wrong. I have a confession to make, though. The last Kiss show that I was at, I had flown down to Fort Lauderdale, 2013. And the guitar thing was, Boogie Street was kind of coming to a close. I think Paul Stanley had signed a contract with Ibanez, and I saw the writing on the wall. And I was kind of like on fumes at that point. So my wife and I flew down to Fort Lauderdale. She did not want to go to the show. She'd seen her fill of Kiss shows, but I wanted the photograph. I wanted to see Fran. I went, hanged out with Fran, saw Paul for a little bit, got in the pit, and did my thing with the photos. And I got some really good photos. I left the pit, and it was a smaller venue. You've done that venue, yeah. So I can, from the pit I can like see Fran. Like, hey, I can actually like talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm gone. He's like, I'm like. Yeah, I've had my fill. I'm done.
Seen them.
And the mix wasn't real good. Like sometimes the mix isn't really that good in that venue. I've seen some really bad mixes there. What is that? The Indian Reservation? No. It's what is it? Fort Lauderdale Hard Rock. What is the Seminole? The Seminole. Some bad mixes in that place. It was just too much. It was so much that it was like I was getting like anxiety. I really was. And as soon as I walked out of there and I'm walking back to the hotel, I'm like, oh, peace and serenity. So my point is, even something so awesome, you can get your fill of it.
Yeah. Oh, believe me. Well, that's the same thing with the work, man. I love working. I love doing what I do. But after a while, it's just noise and it just gets to you. And it's like, how long do I have?
Well, there's no escape for you.
There's no escape.
Every show.
Yeah. And it's just like,
show.
And here's the thing with this. There's some bands I'm like sitting there going, oh my God. Oh my God, this is 2 hours and 45 minutes of just torture. This I'm like, come on, one more song. Play something else. Play with Motley because it's my favorite. Growing up, it was my favorite band.
Right.
I'm like, come on, play another song. And I just like, it goes so fast. It's like, wow, we're done already. And it's a long set. And I'm just like. But it just, I enjoy it.
Good for you. See, this is, I had I won't say his name because he might not be comfortable, but an old Boogie Street customer and friend of ours from almost 15 years ago sent me a message and said, isn't it interesting that you two guys, from the beginning of Boogie Street, you form this friendship and you do all this work together. You, Eric, end up working with your childhood hero and have a guitar and business venture with them, right? Fred, in his career now, is working with his childhood hero.
Exactly.
It's like, it's unbelievable. The coincidence of it is really
nutty. That is nutty.
It's nutty.
It meant to happen.
I guess.
Because you know why? Because we put the work in.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I think so.
Likes find likes. People that have the same drive and same. I mean, we may do different business.
Yeah.
But
serendipity, luck, whatever you want to call it.
You did a bunch of different things, but you had Boogie Street on the side. I had a bunch of different things, and I came and did Boogie Street for you, and here we are. We put the work in. Mm-hmm. You got and I was thrilled for you when you met Paul.
I know you were.
You were there. I was there, and it was great, man.
Had to speak for me. I couldn't get my words out.
And if you put the work in, anybody can.
Yes.
But you just got to do it, and that's one of the things that I always tell people, man. Anybody can be. I could be the president if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be the president, but I could if I wanted to. but anybody can do anything they want, and you know, it's the rock star movie cliche. When I was a kid, I had posters of these guys on my wall. Now I'm here, you know. Now I'm one of them, and you know that's the big cheeseball thing. You had the Paul Stanley posters. I had the Motley Crue posters, and you know, to play with that rig and watch those guys.
I can't imagine.
It's amazing, you know, and it just I had goosebumps, you know. It is, you know, and I'm sitting there and living life and loving life, but yeah, I put the work in. You put the work in. If you put the work in, you'll get there.
Yeah,
you know, and it does. I didn't even this job came out of the blue. You know, I didn't know about it. I didn't expect it, and you know, that's luck and good fortune and karma. Because I've been good to everybody, I think, you know. And
you're an old soul, Fred. You're a good guy. And it's just good things happen to good people generally. I think, you know, whatever your logic is, if you think it's karma, if you think it's blessings, whatever it is, it just seems to how life works out.
Yeah, and, you know, and just like you know, just like everybody, I'm gonna go in there. And I'm gonna do the best job I can, and
yeah,
just keep it going, man.
It's gonna be a cool summer.
And I'll tell you what. I know we had our Washburns, and I'm a Spectre fan, and you know, man, those Schecter basses he has are amazing. Even I was giggling about this because we had our Boogie Street import factories overseas. These import basses are killer, man.
I know,
and the quality is. I'm like, this is an import. He's got an import bass, and it's. He told me, he goes, here, you know, we'll go through these and find which one sounds best for what song. And I'm pretty good at that. And so I picked these certain ones. And then I got to this TV yellow one, you know. And it's like, I called it the Steeler bass, you know, because it's black and yellow. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
and gold.
It's black and gold, yeah. And I plugged that thing in. It had some weight to it. It's an import bass. I'm thinking, how good? How
4 or 5 strings?
4. All 4. And I'm thinking, how good's this thing going to sound? You know, it was monstrous. It was thunderous. I'm like, this is the best bass you got, man. And it really is. It's a great sounding bass. It's an import from Schecter. It's the Nikki Sixx model. And I'll tell you what, they
nailed it.
Oh my God, yeah. And they all play and feel. And like I said, this is an import bass.
Yeah, the industry's come a long way.
Yeah,
and I think you know, with Rudy Schlocker at the helm, but I think that we kind of pressed the issue, demanding better quality. From
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely,
long time ago.
And that's what that's what Paul said. Can you give me this quality? Yes, we can.
Yeah,
you're on.
And he agreed. I mean, there's pictures of him playing. Import stuff. Yeah, I'm immensely happy for you. I mean, I just know, you know, things in your career ultimately become old hat. You know, after you were on the road for 10 years and you've met all these musicians that, you know, then and it's a small fraternity, right? There's a small fraternity of you folks, small fraternity of these musicians. And after a while, you know, I guess it just becomes normal business.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can tell me it was normal business walking in there and meeting Nikki Sixx.
Oh, no.
As his new bass tech. There's just no way.
Cheese ball, man.
There's just no way.
You know,
yeah.
I don't think I've stopped smiling.
He had to love that, though. I'm sure he loved that.
He's a great guy.
I'm sure he loved that.
But like I said, I've been miserable for a long time, and I don't think I've stopped smiling at all.
Yeah, good for you.
You know, I mean, it's just, you know, now I want to go back to work. I told him I said, hey man, this is before I met him. I'm like, hey man, I got on a journey a couple days early. We got, you know, we called off some shows. We're going to reschedule some shows. You want me to come down? He goes, nah, man. You've been on the road for a while. Go home and relax. I came home. I didn't know what to do. I can't think I did 2 shows with you because I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, you know, I'm like sitting there going, I can't wait to get back on the road.
You did.
Yeah, and I did. I did the shows, and I went back on the road, and like I said, I'm still smiling.
You are. So we got all that stuff out of the way.
Yep.
And been doing a couple shows with Rocco and some other podcasts, and a question came up in a podcast about 3 or 4 shows back, and I've been kind of like asking guests, and I thought this would be a good, kind of a little right turn for us here. The question is, in your life experience and for what you see today, whatever happened to the idea or the concept of shame? Do we still have a concept of shame? Is it just different now? Can you point to anything, any events over the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years that maybe have altered the concept of shame? Where do we stand today in 2022 with the idea of shame? Before you answer, I'll throw something out there that might be able to resonate with you first. I was raised very humble background, little mill town, and I'm mid-50s, so, baby boomer parents and their parents. There was a phrase that used to be said in our family, and I'm sure it was shared by a lot of families, that you can do a lot of things, you can fuck up a lot, but don't do anything to bring a bad rap to your family. Don't disparage the family name. Respect your elders. Have fear of your elders and respect strangers. And that's pretty much all they asked of me. But that was pretty weighty, right? Don't do anything to screw up your family name. Fear elders and respect strangers. That's all it took. But now, Fred, I don't know if the concept of shame, personal shame, if it matters anymore. So my question is to you, what do you think when someone says to you, how do you define shame in the year 2022? Does it even exist anymore? It's been a really weighty subject on the last couple of podcasts. And Rocco said to me, Fred's coming in, right? I said, yeah, I got him for a short period of time. He goes, you got to throw that question at him. So
we're having this.
So it's Rocco's fault.
So we're having this podcast, and we're talking about fun. Left turn. I'm somewhere back on Potato Patch Road. What the hell was that?
Shame.
Now you don't want to ask me about shame.
I do want to ask you about shame.
My God,
I do want to ask you about shame.
I
do want to ask you about.
It's the same thing. But that's the generation we were brought up in. It's the same thing. I'm humble. I worked in a mill. I did everything. You know what I mean? We didn't have, as kids, Instagram where you can shake your ass on Instagram.
We did not.
We didn't have, man, if I went out and I got drunk, I wasn't, there's no way I was telling somebody. When I got older and it became, I don't even want to say it like it's legendary, the antics.
You were definitely part of some legendary antics.
Yeah,
yes,
but
yes,
the thing
indeed. Yes, he was.
But I embraced that as rock and roll rather than.
That was just an excuse.
Rather than shame. There's things I've been ashamed of that I've done, or I wish I hadn't done that. But right now with Instagram, it seems like, or the social media, it seems like the more you fuck up, the more it's accepted. People want to see you shake your ass on there. People want to see somebody fist fighting somebody. Some people, there's just no.
What about looking at different markers over the past couple of decades? I'll throw a couple out to you. The decision for the Kardashian mother to sell the sex tape of the daughter, and then what's transpired for them after that from a financial and fame thing. I'm just putting it out there. That to me, that was a big marker. I think tidally, a lot changed in the shame component at that moment. Go back to Bill Clinton with Lewinsky, back in 98 maybe. That was a tidal thing, regardless of where you fell on the political spectrum. It was the president of the United States and a young intern. That kind of set somewhat morals back a little bit. There was that, and then you can go back to the invention of rock and roll and all the craziness that happened in the late 60s and 70s. There's always little moments. But in my lifetime, Clinton doing his thing there was some weight there. And the Kardashians, which I really didn't pay attention to, but researching it for this question on the podcast, I really didn't get the gravity that the mother, sold the sex tape or arranged for the sale of the sex tape for money of the daughter.
Yeah. And
that's accepted now.
Yeah.
And the public ate that shit.
Oh, my God. They're still talking about it. Look, take a look at that the youngest one or whatever, Kylie or whatever.
Okay.
She don't look anything like she did now. All these people manufactured themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was calculated, and they have no shame. And it's horrible that they would go out there and they don't live in a trailer park in Florida. Sorry, Florida. You know, they're not. It's Beverly Hills trash. That is trash upon trash. But you know what? They've turned the whole generation. People
profitable
watch
trash.
that shit because it's profitable. That's why you have the people with no shame on Instagram shaking their ass. You know, it's easy money, and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be outrageous and who. Why are they even relevant?
So at some point, money superseded dignity.
Yes.
But I'm trying to figure out, like, at what point societally, is that a big word? Societally, did that kind of switch? Because I would think 30, 40 years ago, dignity probably had a greater weight over doing something like that for most people,
yes.
not everybody.
But
most
it's the
people.
thing. That's the thing. But if you want to get, the Lewinsky thing was behind. It happens to politicians all the time.
Oh, no.
But the woman talked her into bringing it forward. There's because now it becomes you can probably get a book deal out of this.
It was the lie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was also his lie to the American people.
He didn't lie.
Yeah,
he did not lie. By definition, what they asked him, he did not have sex with that woman.
That's a politician for you.
But he looked and he said.
But then he apologized because he lied.
But
he admitted he lied.
Well, he didn't lie. By definition,
he admitted that he lied, though.
By their definition, what they had,
lied.
He did not have sex.
Any
with her.
reasonable person that watched the entire episode, even casually, knows that he said one thing.
Well, yeah, and he's looking with a smirk on his face, saying, "By definition, what you have written down here."
Well, that happened in the lawsuit, right? When
Yeah.
he was under yeah, you're right. But I mean,
but
went to the podium. He did a mea culpa with his wife standing there. I get it. I mean, it wasn't the best moment in American history.
No, it's not. But how many times have had that happened?
Absolutely. Yeah. But this was the first time, and for Hooker
But now somebody looked at it and said, "Look, I've become famous on this." Who saves a white dress or a blue dress?
Bingo.
And doesn't get it cleaned?
Bingo.
Who saved it? It was plotted.
Bingo.
For
Linda
money.
Tripp, I think, was the
Linda
one
Tripp
feeding
it
into her ear, right?
But exactly, and that's the thing. People realize now with these frivolous lawsuits that come up or whatever that now, if you do something and it may be shameful, but it makes you money. You know what I mean? Who would really want to see those Kardashians fucking? Not me. I've never seen it. I could care less. No. But enough people did, and it made them money. And they could. The mother sold out the kids. You know what?
But she's on talk shows with with a reputable talk show people on daytime TV. Like we've normalized.
Tell us about your empire.
We've normalized it, right?
They have.
And no. They didn't normalize it.
We have.
We've normalized it. We have permitted that to become the norm.
And you know what's fucked up? Is when you look back at the TV censorship in the 50s and how things got looser and looser from the 50s to the 60s with the Beatles' shaggy haircuts. Oh, my God, that was terrible. 70s brought you porn. You could, it became 80s. Porn exploded because now you had video. But things started to...
80s brought us hair metal.
And it brought his hair metal. And the decadence that came with that. It was...
I remember the hearings.
Exactly. And people are worried about... You look back here at Tipper Gore and the PMRC, and because Luther Campbell's got somebody on his, on his album cover in a thong, and that's... These people were fighting for morals, and we don't have them anymore. What's become acceptable is... very shameful. These people should be, and I'm saying it. And granted, I'm 53 years old, and I did a lot of, I lived the life and stuff like that. But man, how things have changed in 40 years.
Isn't there a difference though between doing things privately and doing things in public.
Yes.
There needs to be that delineation, and that delineation's been blurred or actually kind of thrown out the window.
Because people have camera phones, because people want to profit off of somebody else, or blackmail, or can see somebody wants to see it. Again, selling sex tapes, that was people's private things. Now all of a sudden they're leaked. They're not leaked. It's a publicity stunt. It's for somebody to get further in life. OnlyFans. Again, making money without having to do anything. And that's what it comes down to. There's nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody's looking for the easy way.
Drill it down. That's the thing. The get
What's
rich
the quick
quick
buck?
scheme. Yeah.
You get rich quick and do at least amount as possible. People live in mansions to come up with they all band together to come up with content for Instagram. Oh, let me go shopping today and get my 1 million views, and then Instagram's going to send me a fat check, or YouTube's going to send me a fat check for unboxing toys. It just that's not shameful, but the thing is,
I think if it's decent behavior and it's just quirky and weird, that fine.
Exactly. But then you have the far extreme that, all right, let's put out a sex tape, or let's humiliate somebody. And that's the other thing too, man. You see these people, people will do anything to get views, and that's what's become important. Again, the least effort possible. But the most effort these people put into their stuff is editing and uploading it.
Yeah.
It just.
But it gets. I don't mind if the technology provides a good pathway, Fred. I won't blame the technology. I just blame the way we use it. I also blame the fact that we really don't care. It doesn't seem like what other people think about us. I don't mean in terms of envy. I'm talking about in terms of like our own in our own sacrificing our own dignity.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
People don't care, and that's just it, man. You try to be a stand-up guy all the time. I try to be a stand-up guy all the time. These people, they don't. There's people out there that don't care. Just they want that fame so bad. You know what I mean? They want that attention so bad. I don't need it. You don't need it.
Yeah, the lust of fame. Yeah, the lust of fame is a funny thing.
And that's what these people are thriving on, man. It just, who sees me? How many likes do I have? Okay, so I got to do something more outrageous. And morals and dignity and shame go out the door just so I got that like. I can be silly and that's what I always laugh about that, I don't have very many. I got like 3,600 followers or whatever, but I don't do anything stupid. I just, here's my photo of a bee.
Well, why? I mean, if the way to achieve things in life is to sacrifice your dignity for likes, for followers, then stop the planet. I want to get off.
Exactly. And that's just something that I don't, I'm not going to do something stupid, for likes. Exactly. Stop the planet. I want to get off because society's falling apart, Eric. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I see it all the time.
It comes down to, of all things, again, morals. There's no morals. There's no church is frowned upon, because it's church. But again,
well, that's where the morals actually came from.
That's exactly,
I mean,
and people don't have time for each other, let alone go sit somewhere and get preached to. People don't listen to other people that they know, that they're families with or whatever, to help. You know what I mean? People are so self-absorbed in themselves and what's going on with them that they miss the big picture of what it means to get together
Sure.
and,
Sure.
actually talk, actually listen, actually live a good, wholesome life. Now shops are open on Sundays, where it never was,
It's been kind of a slow conditioning, right? I mean,
Exactly. Putting
money at the forefront.
Yep. And that's what I was just about to say, because now you can make money on Sundays because people, and that's what it was. Back in the day, shops were closed on Sundays, man. You had, now, and you went to church.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't go to church, you go to work, you go to, and it's slowly through our lifetime, it's gotten, money's the key, man. It's all about, everybody wants to make money.
Is it money just the currency? Is it the perception of worth? Is it the perception of like value against my neighbor, value against
and that's
my age group?
Well, go to church and don't covet your neighbor's stuff, and that's what we've become, man. It's people are out there. It's that line in Borat. I've got whatever, clock radio, and then it's got something better, and it's this junk. But that's just the thing, everybody's trying to one up somebody else.
Right.
Me, I don't care. Money doesn't mean anything to me, and anybody that knows me knows that I give it away.
Right.
But the thing is, society, man, you have to live you have to have the nice car. There's people out there that have these nice cars, but they can't afford anything else. But man, they drive a nice car and they're in the club, but
well, so let's talk about that for a second, because I am okay if they make that choice, it's a choice they have to live with.
Yeah.
We can stand back and go, it's probably the choice I would make.
No, it's not.
But if they're a kind person and not hurting people, but they just love cars, or they think that somehow, and younger people fall prey to this all the time. I know I did. Things that mattered. I had to have a Rolex watch when I was 22, although I was living in an apartment and driving a Volkswagen, right? Yeah. But I had to have that Rolex because somehow I perceived that with being taken seriously in my work environment.
When I was that age, I thought that if I had a Rolex, that's when I knew I made it. Yeah. I had no inkling of doing any of this stuff. I still don't have a Rolex.
Yeah, I had multiple Rolexes, and it didn't change my status in life in regards to anything. I'm just saying that we all have had moments in our life where we wanted a prestigious thing because we think it would do something for us. I don't blame, and I don't even scorn anybody who does that. What I do is when you bring children into the world and you have people that are depending on you. That's a different story when you're out there spending crazy money on things that are ridiculous at the expense of your kids.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I can't tell you how much that's happening, but my guess is that's happening much more than it probably should happen.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Back to Instagram. People shaking their ass on Instagram, and you see the baby walk in the frame, I always laugh at that. It's just like, but they'll still post it. There's no shame.
There's no shame. And so someone watching this, listening to this might say, well, why should there be shame? Okay, I guess that's an argument.
Yeah.
I don't believe in God, I don't believe in church, and who are you to say that that's a shameful behavior? You're right. I'm not making any rules.
No,
but if you're going to ask me, do I want to see people fornicating, in the middle of the street, if that's where you're headed with the conversation, that everything just breaks down and it's a free-for-all, I don't want a world like that.
No.
I don't want a world like that.
And who's to say 100 years down the road, that's, because that's the way we're going.
It is the way we're going.
Dogs in the street.
It is the way it's exactly right.
And that's the thing. Here's my thing. Do what you do so it makes you happy, just so it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it should be behind closed doors, then keep it there. Really worship whatever God you want.
But we're old fogies that we want that. I'm sure we're being viewed as old fogies who
I know
believe that sex should be behind closed doors, or and I just thought sex of any kind, like the actual connection of it, whether it's relationship based or it's not, but that was a private, intimate thing. Like that's how I grew up, and I conducted my adult life that way. I don't want to see that out in public, and aspects of that out in public. I don't need to throw it in my face. And no, I don't want to have to explain to a 9-year-old person, certain sexual things when I don't think they're mentally ready for it yet. I don't want the public giving that to my children.
Yeah.
So if I'm an old fogey for that, oh well.
But you have morals.
That's, I guess, I have standards.
Standards,
right? Of decency. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's just different.
Yeah. No, it should be the norm. It shouldn't be different. It shouldn't be the norm.
I mean, we still have decency laws in this country, to prohibit people from engaging in sex in the street. Come on, right? You can't do that like in the middle of an open space where you work. And there's certain, I don't think, unless you're in the porn industry, I guess. But ultimately, it's an interesting discussion. Like, where do the lines of decency? Where are they? Who determines them? How have they changed? I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable, Fred.
I'm being serious, man. For me, my view is it was social media and the internet that it's the instant access, instant gratification, instant fame that brought down the morals, brought down the family values, that brought down, there's no shame. There's no shame just so you became famous.
Right.
And just so you got what you wanted out of it. There's no shame. And if you do this act, but you got money and you're famous, then it was worth it. Come on, OnlyFans. Dude, people are making millions. I don't get it. I'm in the wrong business, I think. I don't think anybody, I don't think anybody's going to subscribe to Only Fred's fans or whatever. But I don't get it. But people are making a quick buck easy.
Is it just the lowering standard of morals because it's just the ebb and flow of the way the world's going? Maybe we're looking at it too critically? I don't know.
You know what we bitch about the most? People in America bitch about the Muslims' moral codes. Yeah, man, show your ankle over there. You're going to get killed.
It's the other extreme.
That's the other extreme. Why can't we have something in the middle? Why can't people just meet in the middle? But,
it's a good question on a lot of fronts.
Exactly. It's just, it's a fucked up world right now. But I'm going to see a lot of tits, I'm sure, out on Motley Crue. Somebody actually wrote that.
I would think so, right?
I can't see from where I'm at. I'm on the side of the stage, and there's something in front of me, so I'm good on that. But I had to break that up because we were getting too serious on this.
But I will tell you, Fred, I mean, like, seeing Motley Crue fan tits maybe in the 80s as opposed to seeing Motley Crue fan tits in 2022.
Ooh.
If it's the same people, you might not want to be seeing those
exactly,
tits.
man. It's like that. But oh yeah, man. There was one guy
Fight scene of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, right. It was just people out on those old Ozfest tours. It's like, it's just like, come on, man. And that was like, no.
So, rock and roll. So the state of rock and roll today, the state of what you and I believe is, rock and roll, what we like, hard rock, metal, whatever, hard rock. Where does that stand today? Now, obviously, you're touring with the biggest metal bands out there now, getting ready to do a stadium tour. It's going to be very successful. So you have to pull yourself away from your current state. I'm looking at the entire state of the industry of hard rock / rock and roll / heavy metal. Where does that genre of music stand
now
today?
You know this.
I'm asking your opinion.
I don't listen to radio. I don't listen to new music. I don't listen to any. And so it's hard for me on that. There's some good bands out there. I couldn't tell you their names, but I just literally, maybe I've turned into like those You know, like when you were young and people listen to Elvis, and you're like, well, how can you just listen to Elvis all day? You know, or you had those guys that you're like, how could you just listen to the Stones or Beatles all day? You know, now I'm just like, man, I'm going to put on the local radio that plays
surf music. You were into surf music.
I still love surf music. And everybody's like, how the hell can you listen to it? And you know what? I was never exposed to it as a kid.
That's why.
Never exposed to it.
That's why.
When I heard it, I was just like, wow, this is great. And what was fun about it was I was looking for at one time, oh my God, this is so funny. I used to practice my instrument. I used to actually practice. And I was looking for different things. And I played both guitar and bass. And I remember watching Stevie Ray Vaughan play Wipeout with his brother. And they were playing it on one guitar.
Okay.
You know, and each were, you know, it was a double neck Robin. And Robin guitar. And I thought, wow, that's great. But I love that tune. Let me see if I can learn it. So I did. Then I discovered more surf rock. And it just went on and on and on. And Hendrix actually says something about it. May I never listen to surf music again on like Third Stone from the Sun. And I'm like, well, man, Hendrix hates it. But I discovered like all these, you know, the Ventures and Dick Dale. And
I got into your car one time. I looked in the back seat. There was like 10 Dick Dale CDs. I'm like, what are you doing, Fred?
Dude, but it's basic and it's amazing. So those became my new.
I don't know if it's amazing.
Well,
it's definitely basic.
For what they can do with it, you know what I mean? It's got that jaggly.
Yeah, either dig it or you don't. I get it.
But the thing is I started to learn those bass lines, and I was kind of like, because it wasn't my norm, it wasn't Motley Crue,
right?
It was something different,
right.
And I'm like, well, this is cool. And it's like when I joined that pop band a while back, you know, it's just like, well, I thought this was gonna be like a classic rock band or a metal band. They're like, no, learn this Miley Cyrus song. I'm like, you know, learn this Maroon 5 song. And I did, or Bruno Mars, you know, Shakira. I learned all these songs that weren't my thing. And I had a blast, you know, because it was something new, something fresh. So along the lines of, you know, new music, I couldn't tell you too many metal bands out there that are new. I couldn't tell you too many, you know. I don't think I've ever listened to a Avenged Sevenfold song or, you know, something like that. But I've been on shows with them, and I know that they were good, you know. But it became really weird that, and I don't want to say I'm stuck in a bubble, you know. But if I hear something and it catches my ear, it's good. But unfortunately, it's been stuff out of my genre. It's been the Bruno Mars tune with the killer bass line, or, you know, stuff like that. As I've gotten older, I've rediscovered music that I didn't listen to. You know, the other thing, I love disco, and I'm like, these bass lines are incredible, and or funk, you know. It's so going back, and you know, and for the life of me, I heard this new band that was amazing, and they had this great poppy funk sound with a harder edge. And I'm like, I've got to, and I wrote it down somewhere. I actually wrote it down.
Somewhere.
Well, I did, and I can't remember where I put it, because I'm like, man, I gotta check this band out. But they were really good, and
Practical Rock and Roll, though. I don't need you to tell me who's good anymore. These new. What I'm asking you is, did Napster really actually kill it off? Not just hard rock. I guess it's the entire music industry in terms of monetary opportunities, but like metal, to a metalhead, there's always a vibrant metal community. It'll never die. I get it. Thank goodness. I'm just saying, where does that genre stand today?
Not in America. Go to South America, it rules. Go to Europe, it rules.
Or the Nordic countries.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Again,
America's pretty diverse. We're a hip hop nation now.
We're a hip hop nation now. And why? It's just, you know.
Well, let's talk about that. So is part of it, you know, the American culture, they want things easier. It's easier not to have to play an instrument?
That's what I was going to get to.
I don't know.
I've said that forever. You know, look at
access is easier.
Look at the 90s, where guitar solos were not the norm. You know what I mean? Because it was easy just to go up and smash some chords
Hell,
up.
they didn't even have to tune their instrument.
Yeah, and it killed metal in America. You know,
It did,
and
and it never recovered.
it never did. Man, you go to Europe, and those bands are still learning how to play because classical music and stuff like that was part of their culture, and metal. You know,
Hearing Paganini with
well,
heavy metal guitar.
yeah, you've still got guitar solos, and,
Right.
and you know, or at least they try to.
Yeah.
And even in some of these screamo bands, you'll get a solo out of them. But the thing is, you know, just things became easier. Now you can just have a drum machine or sample somebody else's song.
Yeah.
You know, hey, look, I'm going to give you a check for $50 and let me use your.
So, being that we had the quality of life here, a first world, right? A lot of disposable income. We had access probably to, on a consumer level, this technology, which made entering the musical sphere easier. I'm guessing, right?
I agree with that. Yeah, technology's here. You know, and you know what? There is brilliant minds.
No doubt.
Musically, you know, hip hop community.
No doubt.
Brilliant
It's not
producers.
It's not a knock against it.
No, it's not.
I'm saying it's learning to play guitar and do a guitar solo in a song structure, or learning to play keyboards, you know, and learning to play real analog drums and all that stuff. The organic stuff is a lot more. It's more complex, and there's a longer learning curve, I think, than just scratching out beats.
Now you can just go on the net now and,
That's what I'm saying.
take this beat. Look at GarageBand. Slide it over there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a launch pad for a lot of, you know, I mean, come on, the dance music, the EMD or whatever they call it or whatever. You know, I mean, it just like
Guy closes his laptop and leaves.
He
He
walks
goes
out.
on tour,
Walks
and I know some famous ones. A friend of mine's one, and I get it.
It's on a
it's
laptop.
It's a thing.
It's on a laptop. All he does is he goes.
No, well, they have to create it though. I mean, they have to. They have to
But
create
it's so
it.
easy to create it, and GarageBand, you know, was everybody got it on your Mac,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever. It's right there. But now they've got these programs that are amazing, and it's not. I'm not capping on it. It's a different way to make music, but it's not learning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not mastering your instrument. You're mastering
well,
your
the
laptop.
instrument is really not part of the equation.
not part
The
of the
sound of an instrument is part of the equation. It's how you manipulate that sound. But
Yep.
they're not creating the organic sound.
No. And that's, you know, and I think if that's where the satisfaction comes from for me is, you know, with a lot of these bands, I get to create an organic sound, you know, come in and alter tones.
But is it valued? You know, it's that old argument. You know, you put like, you know, look at Angus Young, look at Al Di Meola, right? And one can play rings around the other, but the other can own the other.
Yeah.
I mean, like the financial disparity is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, so basically, talent does not always equate to monetary rewards.
Well, the thing is, but as you base the talent, you know, yeah, somebody can play rings around somebody else, but you know, they're both masters of what they do.
I get it. I
Yeah,
don't know, 100%. But I'm saying from a technical proficiency standpoint, you know.
But you get to go see all these people playing on the street that it can smoke anybody.
Buskers.
Yeah, buskers in the tube in London. But I mean, but that's opened up a thing for YouTube too. So here you got people out there
Oh, sure.
promoting themselves. Look at Justin Bieber, all these cats that, you know, were discovered on YouTube and amassed 1 million
Oh,
followers.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think the point of entry is now easier.
But now you've got these people on there that are just amazingly smoking players, but they'll never
Yeah, it's
have the
funny. Like, you would hear 20, 30 years ago, you would see a video clip of like Yngwie Malmsteen. And after watching like an hour of that, you would say, wow, I don't think another human being could ever play that. It's
Exactly.
unbelievable.
Exactly.
And now in this era, it's like there's some kid sitting in China with one hand is doing the same thing, and like while he's drinking a Faygo pop. I mean, it's like it's
that was the thing back in the day when Paul Gilbert came out, man. Because he's from close by. He and I were talking one day. He goes, man, I saw Yngwie. He goes, and I listened to. He goes, Mike Varney played me a thing on what was it, Shrapnel Records or Metal Blade?
Yep, well, it's
and,
the same, right?
And he goes, and I heard that. He goes, I'd never heard something like that before. And Paul's like an amazing player.
Oh, certainly.
And he's in his own right. He can play just like that. But I mean, that's what you had to do. You got a cassette tape. You didn't, and when you heard something mind blowing like that, you're like, nobody else can ever play like that, And then next thing you know, everybody's out there trying to
mimic it. It happened to Eddie Van Halen,
or taking it farther. Yeah, exactly. And they try to, and it's got to the point where some of these guys are so amazing that it's mind blowing that they're not as famous as they were, but or they should be more famous than they are. And it's even like that now, where you can, like you said, got some kid in China sitting there tapping.
It's unbelievable how amazing they are.
And you can watch these people, and you know what? And I'm going to say this too. I love watching. I just go on a story, and I just let them run. I just or whatever, just to see, just to let it go, and just to watch the different styles of people, and watch, normal people playing,
right?
And
right.
It's just because they're getting the access and the fame that they wouldn't have gotten back in the day, and just watching the different techniques. I've learned a lot of being with a big band and being in a happy place. Opened me back up to start playing again. And I practice. I'll sit and I'll noodle, and then I'll learn some Motley Crue songs. But I'll watch YouTube or I'll watch Instagram, and I've actually found myself
Instagrams,
and I watch myself, and I try to learn new things again, which I haven't done that for a long time. I always say I do, but I really don't sit down and try to figure out something.
You think
else.
Being older, is it easier for you to learn new things, or do you think it's harder? Or don't you notice?
You know what? I do know this. I found that I approach my level of learning like in a different manner than I did as a kid.
Okay.
I was sloppy as a kid because I never wanted to learn anybody else's stuff, But now I'm like, okay, so there's a grace note in there. There's, and that's what makes the riff, So now I'm discovering the things.
So you're more patient?
Yeah.
So you say you're more patient now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So for me, I would recognize now that I would try songs to learn songs and just licks out of like Rush stuff, that I would have dismissed years ago. Not because they were just technically difficult, but I knew it was going to take a certain amount of time to break this up in chunks and do enough repetition. And I just didn't want to go through the exercise then. But now I find myself more interested in actually taking the time to breaking down the riff and figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's amazing now.
And you hear all the little things that you didn't hear
absolutely
before. And, you discover.
Why is that? It's a phenomenon.
Well, here's the thing. We're older. And that's what made us successful now is we can go back and find the little things that we do. And those people were successful in their music back then. We've become successful in what we did now. And going back and mastering what we didn't back in the day.
Right.
It kind of gets us a little bit, it validates us, It's just like, hey, it's like, hey, man, look, now I can do it. Now I've got the knowledge and the patience to do that, which I didn't have then.
Yeah, that knowledge and patience thing, is wasted on the old. That should be given to you when you're younger.
Yeah, well, that's what that's the expression.
What I mean?
And that's the thing, man. Youth is, but
yeah, what's that expression? Energy's wasted on the young?
Something like that. I don't know. I'm old. I can't remember. But that's the thing, man. Back when you're young, you're impatient, Now that we're old and we've got some degree of success, we know what what it takes to and that's what I find myself doing. I actually had that with myself not too long ago, saying, man, I learned this song back in the day.
Right.
But I didn't hear the little things that made it special.
Mm.
And so I go back in and that's an actual true thing that, I'm like, wow, this is, I found the patience to learn it right.
What about the patience of, let's say you're not playing. Let's just say you're going to put on a CD that's a favorite of yours that you've listened to maybe 1,000 or more times in your life, maybe thousands of times. Have you ever recently, did a little more concentration on that track, and all of a sudden things start coming to you that you've just never heard before?
Yeah. That's like my whole.
Even when you're not playing, you're actually
I'm just sitting there
driving or sitting at home.
Oh, man, my deep dives into like the old Pink Floyd stuff. It's like, man, I never noticed that. Even the Motley stuff. You can listen to those mixed tracks. There's 20 tracks going on there. That's
something I've recently discovered on some songs.
There's a lot of little things going on. And that was some of the fun about playing. I'm like, wow, man, I never noticed that. And then you go back and you listen to the song and it's there. And it's just like, wow, that's, you can hear it live. But, Pink Floyd, even I sit around and it's just like, wow. This too. Technology's gotten better, and you got to realize I can't hear that well. And
join the club.
So, I've got ears in now where that's all I'm listening to, and there's nothing else, and along those lines, I can hear the little, because I used to listen to like a record, that's how you learned. Remember, you didn't have a YouTube to teach you.
Absolutely.
Or you had to play the record again,
Of course.
Play the record again.
Of course.
Or play this, rewind the tape, rewind the cassette. And, and you had big floppy earphones that weren't there. Now they've got these little things that go straight in your ear and you can hear the bass is perfect. The little nuances, the keys or percussion, it's all there. Mm-hmm. And you can hear, at least I can, things I didn't hear then when the radio or the stereo was cranked up and you're farting out the speakers and shit like that. But now you can hear every little sweet detail. I think that's probably one of the nicest things about getting old.
Yeah, I would challenge anybody who's listening to this, who loves music, if you haven't done this in a while, listen with intent. Go back and listen to your favorite CDs and do it with intent. The intent to really, the intent to hear things that you may have missed, and you will find them.
Now, I imagine if we were high when we were kids. See, I wasn't a pot guy.
Never.
And so, yeah. But the thing was, these people heard them. We didn't hear them, but everybody else did.
We might have heard all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, man. I think maybe that's what I was missing out on.
Speaking of drugs,
yes.
So, Fred, as I say drugs, and Fred immediately says yes. What time and how many? Yeah. So, I thought about this the other night. How much drug activity is out in quote unquote rock and roll today in 2022 with legacy bands? I don't mean so much the new.
Man,
it's always going to be very prevalent in younger bands,
yeah.
I think.
But the legacy bands that are still around, they got it. They're done. It's a business, and that's what it is. Even everybody I know is sober.
I know. It's great, isn't it?
What's funny, man, is the
except
band.
Fred.
No, it's a band I'm with now. They're sober, and I mean. I'm not.
It's going to be a good influence on you.
Well, yeah, because I'm not. I really don't want to drink anyway, and it's now that I got nobody to drink with, it's not a problem. It doesn't, it's just like
you can't drink here.
And my God, what's great? The money you save. Oh man, because I'll go to a bar and I'll get liquored up. I got the tab for everybody. It's just and you look and go, what the hell happened last night?
The old beer wallet.
Oh yeah, man, and I have a big.
That happened on tour a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It did. I mean, you look at some of these Zach Wild things. Oh, I got it. It's just like, man, you sure, bro? Barb sitting there yelling at us. But yeah, man. I mean, and I'm the same way. I bought it. I got it. I get your check. I got your check. I got your check. Don't worry about it. Go to a restaurant. I got it. Yeah. I'm saving a lot of money now. You know where I'm wasting a lot of money? Uber Eats.
Oh,
My God,
really?
I shit you not. I bought a Taco Bell the other day. I got a chalupa, a Doritos taco, and a drink, and a nachos Bel Grande. And I shit you not, it came to like $31. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, it's $12.
And the kid delivered probably ate half of it on the way.
It was cold. It was cold.
They're eating the food,
dude. It was cold when it got. It was 2 miles down the road, and by the time it got to me, it was free. I mean, I'm like,
Shame
I can't
on
even
you,
eat this.
Fred.
Well,
just go down and get it yourself.
I don't have a car. I'm on tour.
It's 2 miles.
It's on tour. I'm not walking. It's middle of the night. I'm drunk. But you get that?
Yeah,
it was a joke.
We got it.
But
maybe.
But yeah, so but I've discovered Uber Eats. But this is what I also discovered: when it's cold, or if it's late, or if something fucked up, you can call them up. You can tell them, "Hey, look, yeah, it was cold, and I was missing, my fries. Oh, we'll just take that off your bill.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty. They're
oh,
pretty.
good. It should be.
They're pretty reasonable.
It
yeah,
should be that way.
And but what was great was we were
actually Jose ate half of your fries on the way to
I tell the story like literally. There was a Five Guys. I could see it out my window, but there was no way to get to it because it was a 6-lane highway.
Yeah, got it.
And the fences were up, but I could see it. All right, and it was right there out my window, and I figured, I'll call up and get Five Guys, and of course it was $35 for a burger and fries from Five Guys after everything. But I could track the guy, and I watched this guy's car go the opposite. I was across the highway. I could see the place. The guy drives up, and for 20 minutes, he sat. His car didn't move for 20 minutes. It was at this other location the opposite way. And I'm like, and I'm calling. Because you can call, and I'm calling, sending messages, calling. And I could see the car sitting. Then the guy gets back in the car after about 20 minutes, comes back, and delivers some other place. You're up next. Up next. But he finally gets it. And when I say it was ice cold, like it was ice. And no shit, I'm not lying this. The bag they put the little seal things on the bag, and it was ripped open. So he was eating my fries.
Ate those fries.
Oh, hell yeah. But I called up. He came. It says, your delivery is by, 12:55. Guy shows up at 12:53, hits the button that he's delivered my food. It's ice cold. And they're like, yeah, sorry, he delivered it within the time period. I'm like, look, I was so mad. And I swore I would never do that. And then somebody showed me, and look, man, and I actually...
You're being extorted for convenience, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what it's become.
Extortion.
And they've jacked up the rates because of COVID, because everybody's ordering.
Think?
Oh my God. It was $12 and I paid $31.56 after fees, taxes, and a tip. And they're worse than Starbucks. They calculate the tip for you. Hey man, isn't that why you're getting paid to deliver this shit? I used to give like a pizza guy $2. I'm not going to give you $10.51 because that's the preferred tip. And you know what? They won't take your order if it's not a good tip.
So are tips even tips anymore? Because now it's part of the whole transaction.
Yeah, they throw it in there. Look, man, if you walk in a place and there's a jar there, you're paying more money than you're going to ever. It's like, no. And I feel bad. I'll throw in $1. Do you ever throw in $1 at Starbucks and they go, I gave you $5.75 back and change. And
see, this is why I pay with my card at Starbucks, because it alleviates that uneasy, awkward circumstance.
Oh, they know. They can tell. They can tell. And they sit.
Panera's the worst. You been to Panera?
Oh my God, yeah.
They started that shit years ago, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
$1, $2, $3, or more. What would you like to tip?
Would you like to customize your tip?
They're standing there looking at you.
Yeah. The other day,
I hate that.
The other
shit.
day,
I hate that shit. I hate that shit.
Shit you not. I was at Red Lobster.
Hate it.
I was at Red Lobster.
They do it there too?
Yeah. Oh, they have the little machine at the table, so you don't get a check anymore. You get the machine. The little card machine.
Applebee's does that.
Yeah, and you put it in there, and the girl goes, and for some reason mine was all messed up. And the girl goes, "Oh, I have to turn my head when you give me a tip. I can't see what you." I'm like, "You have to turn your head when I give you a tip."
Was she joking or was she?
No, she was serious. And I'm like, wait, because if it's $70 and you see that it's now $80, I gave you a $10 tip. It's just But I have to turn my head.
Public school math, Fred.
But the thing is, she had to remind me. I'm going to turn my head. You're going to give me a tip.
Give her 50 cents. I'm done now.
There you go. Thank you.
You can turn your head. I'm done now. No, I hate that shit.
Yeah, man, it drives me nuts.
I hate it. Another little nicety of life that's been ruined.
Yes, absolutely.
Tipping was a nicety, once in a while people are assholes about it, but generally everybody's pretty good about it.
At CVS, they have it. Would you like to round up for children in the rainforest that need books? It's like, you know what? Fucking cut down on these fucking receipts that you give me a mile long. You could run a fucking marathon and just hold out a CVS receipt and have somebody run through it as a finish line. You know what? Save some fucking paper, and then you can feed these kids in the rainforest some books.
Kids in the
I couldn't think of anything.
Kids in the rainforest that need books. That's fucking great.
I couldn't think of anything.
So
you know what? I'm going to start that charity, and I'm going to put a tip jar out for kids in the rainforest that need. Anybody, if you come by my world in Motleyville, fucking, it's going to be right there. It's going to be a tip jar that says "Kids in the rainforest that need books." I couldn't think of anything.
Wait, okay, so I got
Sting is a big proponent of that. They're gonna have a hearing aid fucking song for it,
Kids in the rainforest that need books.
You never know what's gonna come out of my mouth.
All right, wait, hold on. I have two more questions before you split. The first question is,
how many kids in the rainforest need books?
Probably a lot, I would imagine. Yeah, so on the Motley Crue thing, there was an announcement made that because either of Live Nation or whatever the arrangement is, that there's no backstage access on this tour because of COVID protocols.
It's a godsend.
So what the hell is going on there?
Oh, my
People
God.
are pissed off.
Right? Oh, the people are really pissed off. I got people calling me mad. I'm like, look, I'm not fucking Live Nation. Dude, but they're mad. What do you mean we can't get backstage? Well, you entitled fucks. Fucking, I work for it to get backstage. You're fucking leeching off of me, you cocksuckers. Well, wow, Kids in the Rainforest really fired me up here, Eric. Holy shit. But yeah, man, my phone has...
No passes. No backstage passes.
Nothing.
No bullshit. Not because Fred doesn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not permitted.
It's not permitted. And they made a post the other day, and people were going off. You can't do this to your fans. Guess what? If we get COVID and have to cancel, then there is no show. So your hurt feelings because you feel entitled.
Isn't that America?
Exactly. And that's what we're getting.
It's America.
But you know what's also awesome? The no shame in thinking, hey, man, I'm entitled to be back there. It's just like, no, actually, we work to be back here. It's a work environment.
Right.
I'm going to come to, I don't know, to your McDonald's, and I'm just going to hang out, sitting around going, hey, yeah, wow.
I'm going to flip burgers with you.
Yeah, hey, could you mind if I get an extra ketchup? It's just like, and that's the great thing about it. Thank God there's no, you're standing there, you're trying to do your work. Hey, man, you think I can get a pick? Hey, man, can I get a drumstick? I'm not a drummer. Yeah, but can you talk to the guy? Hey, you know what? No. Actually, I can't talk to the guy and get you a drumstick. Come on, man. And that was always my favorite thing. There was this one Aussie show we did, and Stu was yelling, hey, man, give me a pick. Hey, man, give me a drumstick. Hey, man, give me a set list. And his Aussie's buckets of water that he had on the stage. And production manager goes up and he goes, hey, man, give me something. And he dumped this bucket of water on him. and he goes, get that. Because like nobody else was around. The place was cleaning out. You got this one drunk.
Fantastic.
And he had his jacket on. He goes, hey, man, that's my $3,000 jacket. He goes, what idiot wears a $3,000 jacket to an Aussie show? Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, the guy was just standing there. Give me a pick, give me a stick, give me a drumstick, blah, blah. And, but... yeah, that's going to save me a lot of hassle. People come up going, hey, can I have a pick? Can I have a pick? In South America, man, picks are gold, And, I put up like a sign in like Spanish, no picks.
No comprende.
No, yeah. But yeah, man. So when you're back there, you're getting hounded. You got people putting their beers on your shit. It's like, man, you can't put your beer. Dude, it's a free country. I can put my beer wherever. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Let me fucking slap you, fucking silly. Get out of here. Oh, dude, I'm friends with the band. You know what? I work for the band. Get out. And this is shit that's happened over the years. So when they said there's nobody allowed backstage, I'm like, this is
the best thing ever.
This is the greatest thing in the history of everything, man. This is so awesome. And it's great. And man, I love all my friends. I love my family. I love everybody. But you remember when Springsteen was big on that Born in the USA tour? Clarence Clemens had that shirt and said, "I could not get you tickets. I'm going to make a shirt that says, don't even ask. I can't get you tickets." People are calling like, I went to preschool with you, and hey man, just wanted to catch up and see how you're doing, man. How things have been going. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. We played the sandbox, and you gave me your chocolate pudding that one time. And I traded you for like a banana. But you know what, man? How you been? It's like, oh yeah. So what are you doing now? And it's just like, and these are like. Yeah, it's true conversations. I haven't seen you in 40 years. What are you up to? And it's just like, what am I up to? Everybody knows what I'm up to. Fucking nothing. I'm homeless. I live in a storage closet. I don't have any money. I'm broke all the time. Oh, somebody said you were out on tour. And nah, man, the liars. Every one of them a liar. Dude, and it's nuts. Thank God Live Nation has the sense, and I'm not on board with everything they do, but they have the sense to say, yeah, we're not going to let anybody back here, because if one person gets COVID and spreads it throughout the camp and they cancel the tour, look, I've got one upset person that can't be backstage and bug me all day. Or you've got 40,000 people out there going, man, the show was canceled.
The whole insanity of it is, though, I mean, again, it's not an argument about the free passes and all that. That's just all bullshit. The funny part is that they're still worried about COVID protocols and all this shit. I get it, but I don't get it, because they're sharing a large room with 80,000 fucking people. Well, it's unbelievable to me.
Well, here's the thing. The people that work, the stagehands, get tested every day.
Right.
We do too. I mean, we get tested.
But why should one case of COVID shut a production down?
It wouldn't shut it down. That person goes away. Like on TSO, we made it all the way to the end, and the shows went on, but they had people coming in. And at one point we had, I think it was like 36 people that got it the last week. And they're bringing new people in, flying them. It costs a lot of money to juggle these people around like that. It doesn't shut the show down. But say a performer gets it, then that has
a different ball game. Yeah,
yeah.
So they definitely shouldn't be around the public.
Yeah, and that's what it is. They're still having the VIP meet and greets, but you have to stand. The band will stand on a riser behind you, and you're on a riser below them. They sign stuff, hand it down to you. Somebody hands it down to you. They're not, but yeah, you can't hug them, kiss them. It's become weird, man. Even with, handshakes or fist bumps.
I have to imagine, though, a lot of artists are secretly happy as shit.
Yes. My God.
You can't tell me.
They're happy. Look, man, how some of these people get backstage, I don't know, but they're fucking freaks. And
Fran used to say the same thing.
Dude, it's just like, I don't know who you knew to get back here. Stop pestering me. You're a freak. Go away. Blah, blah, blah. Man, I've had some nut jobs. And it's just like, and that's me dealing with them and Fran dealing with them. Imagine what the artists got to deal with. They just want to talk your ear off all day. And it's just like, and I have people follow me around. So let me talk to you about a 1964 Gibson Firebird. But gold mist. Now, do you think it was better with go away. I don't want to talk about this shit. I'm at work. I talk about it all day. And that's imagine what the band goes through. Hey, so when you wrote, when you put a B flat minor in, dude, and that's what you get. So these cats are probably sitting there going, yes, finally, peace, quiet. We're old now.
Yeah.
You know what I love about being old?
You're cranky.
Sleep. My God, what was I missing all these years when I'd be up for like days? I'm like, holy fuck. I get to go to bed at 10 o'clock now?
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, my God. And I'm going to sleep in late? Oh, my God. Dude, I love it. I actually love it. I mean, it's
therapeutic.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm catching up from all my rock star days when I was young. But the thing is, I don't have to deal with, I can go to the bus. I can eat my food. It might still be warm.
Yeah.
You know, but of course I'm exaggerating. And it's always good to see friends and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, man, it's all safety right now. It's a whole different ball game than it was years ago. And again, it's not a band that's out there partying.
Right.
You know, everybody thinks that when they get backstage, there's going to be a party, and there's going to be chicks running around, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be drugs, and there's going to be just free-flowing rivers of booze that are just coming around.
1984.
There is nothing going on like that. It's a bunch of old men going, man,
my back hurts.
My back hurts. I'm really tired.
Oh, I found that out firsthand. I mean, I was hearing it from you, but then again, you were with Black Label in the early 2000s, and that was pretty crazy for a while.
Oh, yeah. That's all we did. We drank.
But, like, you know, getting into that Kiss camp a little bit and working with Paul and Fran and you, and I got a chance to observe, and it was a machine. I mean,
that's a business.
And it is a business.
I'm sure they had their fun.
My eyes were open.
I'm sure they had their fun early, and I don't know if they drank or partied. What they did early? I don't think they had any of that stuff. But they treat it as a business. And one of the funny things is as I got older, that's what I started seeing, man. It's a business. Yeah. And that's where like the success really started taking off when you treat it as such. You know, I'm grateful for being there. I got lucky. And I tell everybody, so tell me how you got there. No, it's too long of a story, and you wouldn't believe it if I told you. Watch the podcast because I've talked about it, or buy the book if it ever comes out. But yeah, man, it's a business, and I treat it as such.
Right.
And I love it. I get sleep.
Yep.
I don't, I'm not crabby.
Well, we can't live like we did when we were 20.
I tried.
When you're 50. It's not going to work.
Yeah. But again, and I appreciate things more too, like sleep.
Yeah.
But this whole no backstage stuff, yeah, man, it sucks for because I do like to show people around.
Sure.
I like to give the rock and roll experience to people that don't exactly
100%
because I appreciate it.
100%.
And but yeah, man, it's beyond our control. It's a different world. And again, we've had this conversation on other podcasts. People are so entitled.
Yeah.
It's what they expect.
Yeah, that shit needs to stop.
I used to play with you in the sandbox. How you doing, man? What the fuck do you mean, how am I doing? I remember you asshole. You got fucking sand in my fucking peanut butter and jelly. And now you're wanting tickets.
All right, before you split, talk a little bit about this expo you're going to be at.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
I didn't.
Oh. So, it'll be over by the time the show's on, but this is great.
This will be out in a day or so.
This is great. This is great. So this weekend in Monroeville Mall, home of Dawn of the Dead, I'm doing this Night of the Living Dead Weekend Expo. I did, the first movie I did was Night of the Living Dead in 1990. And I shot the behind-the-scenes footage, the making of footage. And I have a little cameo in the movie as a zombie. It was Crew Day. And it was great.
Crew Day.
Yeah, it was Crew Day. Everybody in that scene is from the crew.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, we all get dressed up in makeup, and we all come through the windows.
Right on.
It was our fun little thing. And but I got this really, really cool, you can see it on my Instagram, photo. Instagrams. And it's this photo of me coming through the window that it's just a frame from the film. And I look terrifying. Now, this is what's funny about this. Back in the day, back when this movie first came out and I was playing in bands, someone actually came up to me and had seen that movie, and they didn't know I was in that movie.
Okay.
And they described that scene, and I don't know if it was supposed to be a compliment or a diss, because I'm used to getting backhanded compliments all the time. But this girl goes, "Oh, my God." She goes, "I saw this movie the other day, and I looked at you. And I didn't know this person. So they had no idea that I was in this movie." She goes, "It scared the living shit out of me. And you look just like this guy was coming through a window. It was this zombie movie. And the guy was coming. I'm like, And it's just like, so you don't know if it's a compliment or not.
Up.
But I'm a zombie in the movie. And so I'm sitting there. La, da, 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 da. My buddy goes, hey, man, look, check it out. I still collect Night of the Living Dead stuff. It was the old podcast, you can listen to the stories.
Right.
But it was like my big influence. And back in the day, George Romero, Russ Streiner, John Russo, I wanted to be them. I wanted to be them filmmakers. I wanted to be Nikki Sixx as a bass player. And at 21, the eve of my 21st birthday, I start working on Night of the Living Dead, the remake. And I got to meet my heroes, and they were awesome. And what can I say? And that's what's messed up about my life is I've done everything I said I was going to do. I've hit all my
markers.
I've hit all my markers business-wise.
Right.
There's other areas that, I could be better.
Well, sure.
But as a child, I said I was going to work on Night of the Living Dead, or I was going to work with George Romero before I was 21, and I did. I had 6 hours to go, and I started that movie. I was even my 21st birthday. And so I shot the behind-the-scenes footage as a college intern. That was my job. And I get this phone call the other day and says, hey, man, my buddy's like, he sends me a text on Instagrams. And he says, hey, man, did you see that they're having this? I said, well, I don't have Facebook. He goes, no, I see you're listed on Facebook. I have one friend on Facebook. I never go to it.
Here we go.
I'm like, why don't you people listen to me? And he goes, oh, man, they're having it. And I go, oh, that's pretty cool. The next thing I know, like a week later, I get this call from this girl. And I get so many scam calls. And I'm like, it comes up. It's a different area code, but almost my home phone number, except for the numbers are reversed from a different area code. I'm like, oh, somebody's scamming me.
Okay.
So I don't answer it. And so I'm sitting there, and it dings. I got a voice message. And I read the voice message, and it says, yeah, we're having this thing. We heard you were part of Night of the Living Dead 1990, and we'd like to ask you to come do this convention. I'm like, what? Me? I'm like, all right. So I call her back, and I told her, and she goes, hey, yeah, we don't even know how we got your number or how, but somebody said you need to call this guy. And I told her what I did, and she's like, oh, my God, would you like to be part of this? And I'm like, yeah. Insta famous. Yeah.
You're home.
Well, that was the thing. I thought I was going to be out of town. And she gave me the dates, and I'm home. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And so I'm like, really, what do you want me to do? Just, okay. She goes, well, why don't you sign autographs? I'm like, cool. Nobody wants my autograph. Who wants my autograph? And they're printing me up some pictures, and that's going to be that's
very cool
frame of the movie that terrified that girl so bad. And I'm going to sit around, and if you want to ask me questions, you can stand 6 feet away from me and ask me questions so I don't get COVID. Take it back to Live Nation.
Products do you use?
Yeah. And but it's really cool. And I was supposed to do 3 days, and I can only do 2 now because I have to go back to rehearsals as we leave for tour a little bit early.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's just something that came out of the blue, and I'm like, really, nobody wants my autograph. And she's like,
you'd be surprised how many you're going to sign, Fred.
I hope.
So the cruise tour resumes. When is the first show?
First show is in Atlanta.
Right.
June.
End of June.
15, 16.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like next week, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. And here, you know what? People say to me, "You're lying, dude." I'm like, no, I don't know when I go back. I don't know when the first show is. I don't know when we're playing Pittsburgh. I don't know where I go after Atlanta. And they're like, dude, you got to know. No, I quit looking. I just wake up in a city and I get off. And that's what the beauty of this is. I wake up and I go to a hotel. And at some point, I just stop looking. It's not that I don't care.
Well, you get in some kind of vortex when you tour, right? You're like a bubble or a vortex.
Well, and that's just it because of all the bands I've been out with. I've been in a bubble. It's not like I go out and do anything anyway.
Right.
And so it's free time for me to sit and edit, photos.
Right.
But they're like, well, you have to know. And I'm like, no,
not really.
not really. just know that I get up and I do my job and that's it. But people are going, when are you leaving? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You have to know. That was a big thing the other day. It was like,
whatever my itinerary says.
Yeah, it was a big thing. Have you gotten your plane ticket? When are you leaving? I'm leaving Friday. Have you got your plane ticket? What time do you leave? I don't know. They didn't send it to me yet. You're leaving in 3 days, and you haven't gotten a ticket? No, I haven't.
It's beautiful.
I think when you're a band like Motley Crue, don't make a difference when you just get a ticket. I got a Super Saver fare, want to get away fare. But if it was,
so is it charter? How are they flying? Like how's the band flying?
I have no idea. I imagine they fly regular airport.
So is the band going to fly? And then like the crew on the buses, how's it going to work?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's not my department. Literally, I know that I go to Nashville and we get the bus in Nashville and the crew drives. We drive to Atlanta for the first show.
And from there, whatever the bus driver takes you is where you go.
I get on the bus and people are like, dude, we know you're bullshit. No, that's what it's become for me. I
get it.
It's silly because I'm having fun now, and I just get on. And here's the other thing too, and I think we've talked about this. I get on the bus, and I'm the last one off, the first one on usually, and I just stay in my bunk. I don't drink. I don't hang out. I like sleep. Mm-hmm. I found sleep.
It's your new thing.
It's my new thing, and I'll stay. I've got my laptop. And I watch movies, or I'm editing photos nonstop or whatever. And I should be writing a book, is what I should be doing.
You should be.
But I sit in there, and it was great because like a couple years ago on TSO, when I first started just going to my bunk, I remember I walked on the bus, and there was these guys on there, and they're like, "You're on the wrong bus." I'm like, "No, my bus." And the guy goes, "We've been on the road for two weeks, and I haven't seen you on this bus." And that's my thing, man. I go straight to my bunk and I don't come out of it. And so I imagine that's what's going to be on this one. And I don't know where I'm at. Look, I must be in
new city.
Yeah, new city. But
there'll be plenty of days off on this tour, right?
Man, what's messed up is depending on probably who's headlining, because they're flip-flopping, will load in the night before, so you really don't get a day off. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna have days off?" No, sorry, man, got to work
because of how much gear's being toted around.
Oh my God, yeah. And you figure there's 4 or 5 bands.
It's incredible.
And man, I'm really looking forward to this.
I can't imagine.
And you guys are gonna love it. It's even if you're not a fan of the music or the bands, all the bands, or if you only like
just
one
the stage,
yeah, it's just all the bands are gonna be great.
Right.
Joan Jett is
right.
there. Poison, who are
right.
I've seen them 1,000 times. Brett's from here in Pittsburgh, or Butler or whatever. But Def Leppard are always good. And then of course my favorites, Motley Crue.
All right, brother. So we won't see you for a while. When you do have a break though, we're gonna try to somehow get you in whenever that is.
It'll be end of July, maybe. I'll be back.
Okay.
So,
that's quicker than I thought.
No, August.
End of August. July, August. Sometime.
It's like 18 dates in, I got a break, so I'll come home.
Keep me posted.
I will.
All right, brother.
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Got it.
All right, friends.
Bye-bye.
Fred Kowalo, Motley Crue. There they go. And what, this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah. The
Monroeville Expo Mart.
Monroeville Mall. It's in the mall.
Monroeville Mall.
It's in the Monroeville Mall. I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know. That's my thing for today.
Look it up online.
I have to write to them today. It's probably on Facebook, but I don't know. I don't have Facebook.
We'll see. We're out.